we're going through the town centre and they just came at me and I screamed like a girl and I tried to run away, but it just wasn't good enough.
If you want to live at the edge of chaos, come over here in 5 minutes.
Once a year is not enough.
I'd like
It's not enough!
Wicked. That is cool, actually.
My name's James Wheel. I am a creative at Slingshot and we organise Igfest and we also organise 2.8 hours later in Cargo.
Okay. What do you do as a creative?
A bit of everything at the moment because everything's going on at once, but I do a lot of writing for things like the dialogue and for It's in the Cargo we have a phone system that calls you, so all the copy, all the dialogue for that I write, come up with game ideas really. High Five Hike that just happened here is one of my games.
I can't move until you high-five me.
I'm Crofty.
I'm V and we're Larkin About from Manchester.
Brilliant. And what is it you guys do?
We make pervasive games, street games, interactive theatre pieces with a playful, gameful nature.
Yeah, you guys started as a theatre company, yeah?
We did. We kind of started. Yeah, we started as a theatre company, but we were making journeys for people and trying to make theatre shows where the audience were the main character, were the protagonist, I guess. And after a while, we realised that we weren't really interested in theatre. What we were interested in was gaming and gaming mechanics and making things that people could play. So we sort of dropped the pretense of being a theatre company and became what we are, which is a gaming company.
Hidden around this park are lots of mobile phones. They all look the same. They look like this. All right. Good old-fashioned telephones. That's what we're interested in, okay? Now when you find one of those telephones, you can unlock it, find a number in there, and ring it, and it will ring one of your phones in the park. When someone answers it, which will be one of the other players, you shout, they answer it and say their team name, you shout down the phone, hacked off, and then they have to reveal one of the pieces of information that they have about the client. In your little pack, you'll find a notepad and a pencil, write down the information, keep it to the end of the game, and sell it back to them, okay?
Sometimes we'll be responding to a brief from people, so sometimes we'll be kind of commissioned to make a game for an event, and then it's really, it's often then really loaded, because people will be saying, oh, well, we want this to happen, we need this to happen, we need to take people into that room, because it's important they go in there, or, you know, whatever it might be.
In those instances, we have game structures that are suitable as a framework to put different narratives on. That respond to those.
And then there's also, I suppose, a more kind of creative process where we just make what we want to make.
Should we demonstrate that? Okay, so I found a phone, I pick it up, I've unlocked it, dialed a number, let's say Alpha. Alpha's ringing. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, Team Brooks.
Hacked off.
Darn. Alright, I was recently caught leaving a famous footballer's downtown apartment.
Excellent information, thank you. Okay, it's that simple. Now you might be thinking, I know what you're thinking. You're all thinking, well, all I have to do is knock the phone, and then I'll never reveal any information, okay? However, also out here in the park, no one knows where they are. No one knows who this person, agency is a group called Anonymous. Now Anonymous have the best information, right? They have the real scoops, the really juicy gossip that we're going to put on the front page. And I know Anonymous's information is that good, I will pay double for Anonymous's information, alright? Now Anonymous will only contact you by ringing these phones. So when you hear a phone ringing, you need to answer it. Because I do not want Anonymous's information slipping through my grasp, okay? So you've got to get your hands dirty, you've got to take some risks. It might be Anonymous calling, it might be one of your competitors.
Right. Various police officers who will try to arrest you. They'll know that you're criminals because you're wearing these disguises. So the police keep the disguises on at all times, so our police officers know who to arrest. I'm Grant Howitt. I am a writer based in London. I come to Bristol to run this at Igfest. We were offered to run it. Normally I do live action zombie games. We hire out big abandoned buildings, put in 100, 120 people. Some of them are zombies, then more of them become zombies. And yeah, it's quite good fun, but because 2.8 hours later it's kind of Bristol's thing, we were asked to run something without zombies in.
Awesome, so what are you running today?
We're running the Gobstopper job.
There's a policeman coming!
Which way?
It's a heist game. I've always wanted to run a LARP or a heist, a LARP or a game about stealing things, robbing information, Ocean's 11 style thing. And when we were approached by Igfest to run something, I thought it would be a great opportunity to do it. However, we have to do it in a park, so we have to make it a bit sort of cutesy and fun. There's much more cops and robbers. We've got we have the cut of the job, as you can see here, is premium grade quality gobstoppers, each with a street value over £1,000. They are going knocking over a kiosk full of sweets. We got about 27-30 kilos of sweets. They're jamming into bags. They have guns here. Hang on. They have guns that go bang.
They're great.
And yes, it's all quite exciting and and they're playing cops and robbers really. People seem to be having fun.
We're going everywhere. I don't know. I think they went that way.
That way? Are you
that
sure?
way. Yeah,
Are you sure?
They went that way.
They went that way.
They went that way.
It's that way.
That way.
Guys, run, guys, run.
Quick.
Worst postman ever.
This is the 5th year Igfest has been going on, and we've built up quite a good working relationship with some of the larger games companies across the country. So we've got Larkin About, who are Manchester based, who are running Hacked Off, and Team Hat, who are Bristol based, and they actually came to the festival, they played a load of games and then decided they'd give it a go, and now they're one of Bristol's biggest producers, which is really nice to see. You know, really real pleasure. And other people, you know, they just come out of the woodwork really, to sort of beg, borrow and hassle.
Holy cow, make your way over here. Come in closer, holy cow. Thank you, sir.
I know.
My name is Farmer Stitch, and you're all here today to help me get my farm in working order. That's why my lovely dog here, Shep, will be rounding you up and getting you into your teams.
I'd rather be a pig.
Okay, thank you.
Together, get into your teams there. Looking lovely. Into teams, gather together. Right, well you certainly look like a farmyard. And you most definitely smell like one. However, you don't sound like one. So I want to hear some noises from you. I want to hear some black sheep. I want to hear some white sheep. I want to hear those cows and those other cows. Oh, sorry, they're bulls. Lovely, that sounds lovely. Right, I think we're ready to make our way down to Castle Park Farm, where we can get things underway. So follow me. You look a pathetic bunch of animals, and that is why I will be letting you out on my lovely grass to graze, get some fat on your bones, get my money's worth. However, if any of you try to escape, if any of you get up to no mischief, you'll be more than just mincemeat. Isn't that right, Chef? Here you! Get back here, you dirty swine! Here you! I've got my eye on you!
So let's hear your noises. White sheep, make your noises. Black sheep. Pigs. Horses. Bulls. Cows. My favourite.
Keep on running. Lovely work there, chaps. Keep on moving, my herd. Get down here.
It's quite surprising. Yeah, it's quite surprising how much you want it to be real, if you know what I mean. Beyond like what you expect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's 2.8 hours later, yeah?
That's 2.8 hours later.
Welcome to 2.8 hours later. You are about to be chased citywide by zombies, amazing. And yeah, I just want to say, well done for surviving the apocalypse. You're obviously a bunch of hardcore people. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Behind there, there's going to be some more survivors. It's your job to find them, and they'll help you get to your place of safety. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes!
You might have a Reese. Please, just look closer. Yeah, okay, he's tall and he's got curly ginger hair. Okay, this is him. He's got a ginger moustache too. Okay, and the last time I saw him was yesterday. Please, can you look at the picture, please? Just look closely, okay? Because he's missing, and I need to find him. Okay? Yeah. Okay. He said yesterday that he was going to F8. He was going to go to F8. But he hasn't come back since, and I was supposed to give him a haircut. He needed his haircut. So now he has really bad hair. Okay.
First man, fun you lot.
They're not dolls.
Okay, straight down. Okay, first left that we take.
Out of here?
Yeah, we go down there.
But is he gonna chase us?
He is well gonna chase us.
Is he gonna be fun? He's probably slow.
But there is a long way around, so if you can't get left, go straight and then left and left
go
again.
back round there.
You can take the long road.
You can take the long road. What the fuck? What's the fun in taking the long road?
You a sinner? Have you sinned? You, child, are you a sinner?
No.
Did you? Yes. Confess your sin, child.
I ran away when I should have stopped.
You ran away when you should have stopped. But you must decide. Which path will you take? Will you take the path of righteousness or the path of sin?
I just know I've got 12 guys in the body.
The temple meets. Still alive somehow. Not quite sure how I managed that close calls. It doesn't look good, this place. All up, one way.
You had some close calls yet?
Yeah.
It's all been a bit of a blur actually. There was some priests who went into the church. We escaped from a bank vault. We've done really well, really, I think.
That was amazing. Well done. Oh, I'm glad you know. Where's Tim?
Hey? Yeah.
Anyone infected? Anyone infected?
John Boy, you got bit.
John Boy, you have the chance to do something honourable.
Fantastic.
Throw yourselves to the zombies and save your friends. A noble sacrificial act. You go over the bridge and you turn right. And then you run like the bloody clappers. Got it?
I think I know where we're ending up.
I just want to point out to you that crazy dude in the wig said it gets harder from here on.
Yeah.
What?
Where are we going?
Right, so KK24 is there.
Oh yeah, we're going to Motion.
So go up there, then under the underpass there.
No, I think this is only number 11. How many checkpoints are there?
12. No, there's 12.
As a group, guys, stick together.
Guys, not there, stand there.
Yeah, definitely not there.
Right, come on. Guys, come on.
Right.
examination area. We've got medicine and things.
Okay, survivor. Next.
How do you?
Infected.
Infected! Get her out! Through there! Go, go, go!
Next.
Oh, you want to hop down next to me?
Gotcha.
And zombie noises!
So once the game ends, a party can start.
Where is it?
So Coney makes a whole range of work. We come from theatre, we make adventures, we make play and experiences. And I think it's hard for us to pin down everything that we make. But what unites what we make is that it's responsive to our audience. Everything we do, if it's online, in a theatre, in the street, in a school, in an office block, it's responding to the people experiencing it, and they change the experience that they're having, and they co-author it with us. And I think that's what unites, that's the thread that weaves it all together.
We often talk about the audience being the hero of the piece, whatever it is. It's their story, it's their experience, it's their narrative. It's actively letting people make their own stories, worlds, play. So we work with games, we work with good old-fashioned storytelling and dramaturgy, we work with digital tools, we combine theatre, all the theatre games with lots of other elements to really experiment with how audiences can participate and how they can be part of the work as much as we are.
There's lots of games at the Sandpits and at the Weekender as well from people who aren't game designers or aren't artists full-time there are a good 5 or 6 games from people who are non-game computer programmers or project managers or something like that who are also really interested in this kind of stuff and like making games in their spare time.
So, I'm Matthew Robbins, and this game is called Ersatz Entomology, which means fake insect building. And the idea is, you make your own insects, and then you preserve them in jars, like this. And ideally there'd be a scientist here that you'd try and fake it with, but we haven't got a scientist today, so you've got to go and try and fool your friends that you've really caught this insect.
If you take this much cardboard and you put anyone in there, they're just going to be 6 years old straight away, unless they're 4. Anyway, if they're any older than 6, they're just going to suddenly be a child again and be completely happy. There's been people in there for like an hour without noticing how long they were in there, and then coming out with all these coins and like bright eyes. It's basically like a return to childhood in a way, and it's a way to play with material, which you don't get to do so much anymore. It's like games are not that tactile, but this one is like super tactile.
Well, I'm Tim, and this is Schwarz. And we're running a game called Ceremony of Surprise.
And will you tell me a bit about it?
Well, yeah, the game is about building a surprise party, but no one knows yet who the surprised person would be. So it's also about guessing who would be the surprise, and then building an awesome party. Yep. Oh, and there's one last thing. And there's cake. Yeah, there's cake. Yeah, I'm finishing my share of the cake of the last game. So each game ends with cake.
At Early Sandpits, one of the ways that we recruited new makers was essentially that I'd hang around, overhear people talking, and if someone said, I enjoyed this bit, maybe they should have changed it to be like this, would it be more fun if it was paint instead of chalk or whatever, and then I'd jump out and go, why, maybe you should consider making something for the sandpit.
Pink and, hang on, we've got two here, guys. No, they're yellow and pink. No, they're yellow, pink and an orange. We get those two together, we've got a link, we can put it in place. It's the orange.
What do you? All right. So tell me what you were just playing.
It was called, I can't, ties, well, it was something called something ties.
Close ties.
It's the thing behind me, close ties, and it's the thing behind me, and it involves lots of ribbons dangling down, but that's actually more the source of the ribbons, that's less to do with the structure of the game. The game involves having a number of people, about 4 or 5, aiming to tie the ribbons from one post to the diagonally opposite post. And so forth. And the complication is that the way that the ribbons are tied is such that you have to match the colours of the ends of the ribbon, but with the other ends being different.
You don't want to give away your flags. You generally want to hold on to your flags.
I'm Matt Johnson. I help to design, run games, play games. Most of the games design work I do is with the Haberdashery Collective, and so we've got a game here at the Hide and Seek Weekender called Orrery. But I've also been involved with various other groups here in the UK and in London, so with Igfest, Hide and Seek, Coney, and just yesterday with Splash and Ripple I was helping to location manage their Excitement game. I think it gives a very different form of expressivity compared to other art forms. There's the interactivity, which is something that I think classical theatre is starting to get into, but it's still very much exploring. You've got, in London certainly, you've got places like Battersea Arts Centre, the BAC Scratches, and the kind of things that they're looking at, which are really pushing the boundaries. But I think games is coming at it from a very different angle.
There is a way to freedom. There is a way to exorcise this diabolical force. This so-called authority, I tell you here today, it has no authority over us. We must chase the Rays faction with the cross sign on their armbands. But we must be wary, because we will be chased by the Remembrance faction with the circles on their armbands. This city is full of agents. If you run in public, they will stop you. If they say, stop friend, then you must stop, because they are all powerful. You must talk to them, but do not tell them about the platform. They must not know about the competition.
I'm Rosie from Splash and Ripple, and we're purveyors of fine experiences. We make exciting things happen in the real world using theatre and street gaming and clever digital things.
Okay. Yeah, should we head up? We can always split. Yeah, exactly.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
Yes, why are you watching me?
I actually was just going to ask you some directions.
Asking me directions?
Yes.
Do I look like someone who would interest myself in directions?
We just kept laughing.
I was just telling you how much I love the authority, you wouldn't buy it. They're interesting bands you have there.
Oh, thank you.
I think one nice turn deserves another.
Absolutely.
Yes, one band will be sufficient.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
We went to this one here.
Yeah.
And there's like an anagram on the wall.
Oh, okay.
Saying Halt C, which is like an anagram of the lanes.
What lanes?
There's an area of Bristol called the Lanes.
Oh, okay.
Now it's just up here.
Oh, right.
So we presume that there's a zone, score zone up there.
We had to praise the love, feel the love, and then I think shout for bands. We got bands.
I'm bored by this conversation, gentlemen. Tell me something of interest. Enlighten me.
We're trying to beat the totalitarian system that is the authority, who set up democracy version 2.0. And I just got abused at the IMAX by one of their agents.
Yeah, did say they took some of the bands?
No, they made fun of my shorts. And then threw me out. Then he tried to cut the deal. And
they threw us all out. So
then that was it. So we're now meeting at the fountain for a group rally, I think.
Because in just a few minutes' time, a window will open up for us. Our opportunity. We've managed to hack into the authorities' communications grid. Yes. And in just a few moments, we will have a 2-minute window. And the faction that collected the most bands will be able to spread their message to the whole world. Yes, brother. We will bring them down.
A couple of cool moments in that.
Yeah.
I jumped a fence and charged at a base, and they were watching me climb the fence but didn't quite react quickly enough when I got over it, so I nailed someone there. And there's a very narrow alley that we all charged down and then found that there was authority near the far end of it, so charged down, turn around, walk nonchalantly back.
Incitement, which is a citywide theatrical street game. It's quite classic territory for us. It was really nice to it's our big street game of the year, and it's a heavily storied experience that's set in a kind of dystopian world ruled by an authority that's kind of inspired by 1984 crossed with the Google age.
We are the authority. Our will is irrepressible. You cannot question the authority.
We are not profiles!
You are profiles! You are all under arrest!
The point of that was to give people the experience of finding their voice as a group. A lot of this, there's been this awakening in 2011 was this, and in fact this year as well, huge awakening in kind of mass movements and crowd power, and people realising that they're not alone, living very individualised lifestyles, but they're networked digitally, and then suddenly that translating into the real world, people turning up en masse and changing things. And I kind of wanted a game that kind of ever so slightly touched on that and kind of gave people a bit of that feeling, because it's such a strong feeling, like group, crowd power, tribalism. These are really basic things, and that's what we're trying to get at with this.
I know it sounds ridiculous for something with games called The Gob Stop a Job and Rainbow Rain and seeing paint flung at people and all of these things, but people just show up and they take part and they have this really amazing time, and there's no pretense to it. It's just simple fun. So it's just great to have this huge community vibe around gaming. There's nothing really like it that I've been to in England other than this.
Lots of people have tried to define this stuff, and it's quite hard to do. I guess the closest way to say it is that we do street games. We do games that are not played on consoles, they're not played over boards in people's lounge rooms, they're games that are played outside in the real world running around.
Okay, when I shout go, you have 2 minutes to fill your weapons before the first round starts. Ready, go! Which weapon? Impressive weapon.
Try and get more into that one. That's going to be that.
We did the paint game, and we won!
So we've been doing games the past few years, a mix of street games and transmedia games for social issues, for instance, social issues to do with city neighborhoods, social cohesion, those kinds of things. So games that bring people together, that encourage kind of spontaneous interactions, for instance. And more recently we've done similar games inside large organizations, large companies, to facilitate improved collaboration and that kind of thing.
Obviously, it varies from game to game, but I think what we're really interested in is making games that respond to the environment they're being played in a lot of the time, or that respond to the city that they're in. I think most of our games have an element of that, so they're not necessarily something that you could play on a tennis court or in a gym. They need to be in the space that they're setting. I think for us that's one of the things that becomes interesting is when you're doing something that responds to your environment.
I mean, there are probably some artists who might struggle within our structure because you have to give away a little bit of your ego as an artist, as we mentioned before. You have to of your vision of how the right thing is, and your this is my thing. Because if you're going to be genuinely responsive, you have to respond. You can't only respond to people who agree with you or agree with that vision.
What they like is we went in and I went down and I was screaming out for help. My friend came along and rescued me and fired up. Then his gun ran out of ammo and I gave him my gun and we fought off the zombies and we got out and then he died and I was crawling away and he killed me. That's what people like, and we can't write that. You can't make it happen. You have to let it happen within a system. So for me, LARPs, like the Gobstopper Job and like Zombie and like anything I try to do, it's about building a game in which emergent story can happen.
For me, there's quite often an action that I want to justify. Running through the streets with balloons. I really like balloons. Balloons solve so many game design problems. Or a table spontaneously bursting into song. Or something that would be nice to happen, a nice visual image, a nice thing to do. And the game structure works backwards from that. It's about coming up with a world where everyone around the table bursting into song is a plausible outcome.
They're really exciting, they're really fun. You can take people through a whole range of emotions, largely involving excitement, terror, satisfaction, this feeling of working together with people and achieving something, or completely failing to achieve something. They give people a chance to do stuff they wouldn't normally do. They are really good for getting stealth exercise because you never run faster than when you're being chased. And they're a chance to get outside of the real world in the sunshine and hang out with some people.
No one won.